Hey everybody, welcome to our special session. We're here today to introduce you to a brand new eXp resource group called eXp Capable. I'm Cody Gilkison. I'm Senior Manager of the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion team at eXp Realty, as well as the interim co-chair for eXp Capable. And I'm joined by Kimberly Mooney, who is our other co-chair of eXp Capable. Welcome, Kimberly.
Hi, welcome. Thank you.
That's great. I'm so glad we're here. So let's jump right into it. So, what
Yeah.
is our mission and vision for eXp Capable? Why are we doing this?
So the mission ultimately is advocating for the disabled community, both visibly and invisibly impaired. Obviously, there are, people who struggle with things like ADHD, etc., that you may not see on them, but they're having a harder time, and we want to create and improve resources for them. We want to establish those resources for the entire disabled community within eXp, provide networking resources for clients and agents who are disabled or allies or family of disabled. And we want to educate on the disability inclusive home buying and selling procedures as well, because obviously being in real estate, it's so important that we understand what we can do to help others, especially disabled members of our community. And well, I think the most important key piece is providing a safe and empathetic space for the disabled, for their families, for allies, for, friends or people who just want to be supportive and helpful, giving them a space to discuss and collaborate and really helping everybody achieve their goals, whether it's professional or personal.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's so well said. So, I want to touch on too the name eXp Capable. So
Yes.
we came up with that name because we really feel like it embodies the spirit of sort of disabled but capable, right? It's
Right.
not about
Absolutely.
somebody's disability, right? We have different levels of ableness, but we're all capable. That's why we're here at eXp, right?
Right. Absolutely. And I think too, just emphasizing that people can do so much even without resources or with, just a few. So creating an opportunity to improve what we have and build on more resources, it's the sky is the limit for everybody. And I love that.
That's so great. And there's so much we can learn from each other too, right? I think
Yes.
everybody that has been through a tough experience in life, and that includes our disabled community and their friends and allies, right? We all can really learn from what they went through and how we can do it better, right? So that we don't have to have this uphill battle for every single person that's disabled at our company, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Figuring out a solution and then turning around and helping someone else come up with us without the struggle. I love that.
Yeah, that's it. That's key. We love this. So I want to talk about our personal experiences and what drew us to want to be the leaders of this movement. I want to start with
Yeah.
you, Kendra.
Okay. Yeah. So for me, the biggest thing is I was born fully hearing, but had multiple ear infections as a really young kid and as a baby, caused a significant amount of scar tissue. So I've lost a lot of my hearing abilities. I know signed English. I'm currently learning ASL. It's the deaf community has just been incredible, especially within EXP. Everybody's so inviting and welcoming. But on top of that, I also am the mom of a cerebral palsy warrior. My youngest is 3. She was diagnosed 2 years ago with cerebral palsy, and we're just kind of figuring it all out and trying to make the world a better place for her and make sure that, you know, her and anybody else struggling with any kind of disability, that I'm aware of it and that I know how to best advocate for them. And truly, it just pulls at my heart to be a part of it.
That's fantastic. I love that. And, really, so at the DEI department, we really, really frequently get this suggestion that we should have a disabilities resource group, right? And this
Yeah.
really came into focus really hard right around Shareholder Summit this year, where we started seeing some conversations from a group on workplace, the ASL and Deaf and Hard of Hearing group. And
Yes.
then that already had sparked it in my head. But then sitting at the one EXP booth at Shareholders, guys, I'm telling you, there are so many people that had this suggestion.
Yeah.
And I've always struggled with, okay, but I've got to find somebody to lead it. So it really came down to, we just have to make this work. Too many people need this, right? So right now, when I say I'm interim co-chair of this, I really am sitting and filling the role and helping this grow a little bit until we can find somebody else who can really take this on and have it as their passion project. We're looking for someone who can devote a little bit of time to this. So if you know someone, or if you are someone who's
Yes,
interested at being right at the fore, right on the ground level of this, the opportunity is still there to be a leader.
absolutely.
And not just for leaders, for volunteers too, if anybody else wants to jump in. For
Yeah.
me, this speaks to me because my dad is a quadriplegic. He's paralyzed from the neck down at his C7 vertebrae due to a motorcycle accident in 1994 when
Oh,
he
wow.
was given 6 years to live, right? And it's 2023, and he's still he's still zooming around and making things happen, right? And he's
I
an
love that.
entrepreneur, he's a business owner, and
Yeah.
you know, he works at an automotive and towing and salvage business, and it's a really nice way of saying that he has made a living out of yelling at people on the phone. But my dad is a spitfire, and
Yes.
I look up to him a lot. And after he was paralyzed, I lived with him at Shepherd Spinal Clinic for 6 months during the initial stages of his rehab. Took some time off from school to be with him because he didn't have
Yeah.
anybody else that could commit that time. So I was really plunged headfirst into the pool of learning about disabilities at a young age. I was 9.
Yeah, it really is like a tidal wave, like at any level. I mean, just advocating for my daughter's health, trying to get the right resources, and as I can imagine for you and your dad, it's just so much information, so
Right.
many appointments, so much like that you
That's it.
have to be involved in.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was that kid really sitting at my dad's bedside every day for 6 months, taking
Yeah.
rigorous notes about what medications have changed, what's our next hurdle, what's our next appointment, where do we need his blood pressure to be, have his bandages been changed, like all of that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, being an advocate is sort of like baked in at this point. It's that
Yeah.
is part of my gig. So this is going to be a big story for eXp Capable. We're also looking for people like me who are major allies and advocates for the disabled community, because anybody that's going to help us get the resources, get the tools, get the lessons that people need to learn to help this community, all those people are welcome at eXp Capable, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Absolutely. I mean, if you have ideas or suggestions, if you are more familiar with something than maybe someone else is, if you personally encountered these things or you see ways we can improve, like we want to hear that. We want to know that. The group is there for you to share those things. And I think it's going to be really impactful to see EXP just come together even more than they already are to support a whole different collective of people.
Right. Yeah. And for me, often, like when we have events at Shareholder Summit, they came to me and asked me, because I'm the DEI guy, what do we need to have for our deaf and hard of hearing people in terms of accessibility options? And
Yeah.
every time somebody asks me a question about one of my communities, my take is I turn to my left and I find the people I know from that community and I ask the question so that I know I'm coming from an authentic place with my answer, right?
Right.
Have that, you know? So this is the opportunity for us to have that, so that eXp Capable has a voice as a resource group that reaches to the top level and people know without having to ask what we need, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's going to seem like we're really catering pretty particularly to the deaf and hard of hearing community, but I just want to call out the ASL group and the deaf and hard of hearing community at eXp, because this group wouldn't have been able to be started without what you guys laid the foundation for in Workplace.
Definitely.
I took the step of going ahead and adding everybody from that group to this group, right?
Yes.
But I went to them and I was like, what do we do? And that
And they were so vocal in that
they were.
chat. They were so like, here's what we need, or here's what's lacking, or, like, this isn't up to par. We need different, we need an interpreter at the live events. We need an interpreter in the trainings. We need this, we want that. And it was just really powerful to see that even like some of them are deaf, some of them are hard of hearing, or, they have friends or family who are, but they were all so invested in it. And that's what I want for this group, is everybody to be like, what do you need? What can I do? How can we help each other? And let's just explode the resources and the abilities for this group. I love it.
Love it. Love it. Praise hands on that. That's like exactly what we're looking for, right?
Yes. Yes.
So I was going to ask the question, how can eXp Realty agents and staff get involved with the resource group? But we pretty much answered it already, right? It's it's join the group. And if you know of anyone who is passionate about this stuff, then take the passion that we're giving you right now in this little session that we're having right now and put it on them, right? Hey, these guys are doing the same stuff you're doing, the stuff that you want to do, join, right?
Absolutely.
And often, as is the case with any one eXp resource group, it's something that you can do beyond your job to make you be able to sleep soundly at night, that you've done some good in the world, right? That is our gig here. You can feel better about yourself because we're giving you an opportunity to do something tangible, good for other people, right?
Yes. Well, and personally, I love my brokerage. I love eXp, but obviously there are definitely things that we can work to improve, and getting involved in this group and, highlighting where can eXp be better. eXp is taking notes. eXp is really listening to us. And this group is just one more way that we can get those things and make them more accessible to everybody. And I think the higher the number of people in the group, the more feedback, the better impact we'll have. And, every voice is so important, especially in this group, every voice.
Yeah.
So,
and really something that I want to get across really, really directly is, if you feel you have a suggestion, but you're like, they'd never go for that, suggest it anyway. Suggest it anyway, right?
The worst that can happen is they just don't do anything, but the best that could happen is they do, and you get to see the growth from that. I love it.
And regardless, it starts a conversation at the highest levels that, hey, we've been asked about this. So later, if it becomes more important or more front of mind, they'll say, somebody asked about that before. I guess we have to do it, right? But you have to give that spark, right? We're looking for sparkers right now.
Yes. We want the sparklers. We want the people who are going to just fuel the flame here, because we've got the big energy already, but we need people who can sustain it. So
that's so, oh yes, love that. So what kind of content and topics can people expect to be covered by eXp Capable?
I think, networking amongst each other, understanding each other's disabilities, the needs of those people. How can we be more impactful as a group, as individuals? Collaboration and conversation. I think that's going to be the biggest thing within the group, is just, helping each other along the way, sharing feedbacks, like you said, sharing ideas, suggesting things. I think also we had kind of touched on earlier, inclusive methods of home buying and selling, because again, we're in real estate. So how can we make it an inclusive process? Like, what can we do to level up the process for, disabled clients, disabled agents, people referring us that we have to interact with all different capabilities? And then also, I think accountability, support, and education, because we want everybody to reach their goals, personal, professional. And within this group, we want to be able to say, like, you can do it. We're here for you. How can we help? And also, I'm going to hold you to it. You're going to make this suggestion and I'm going to hold you to it. I want to see you push and make the change here.
Yeah, that's so real. And I think, the one of the big pieces for me there is, I wholeheartedly believe that every eXp agent has something to learn about how they can better sell to disabled clients. And we
Yes.
want to be the group that offers you that knowledge,
Yeah.
right? So if
Yeah.
you know how to do this stuff and want to teach it and preach your gospel, come to us. We will give you the microphone. You can have an event just like this, and we can set it up. Now we've got this whole DEI team behind us. We can set you up an event in a matter of weeks, right? And get it
Yeah.
promoted out there and get your message out there and really help people. I think we're also going to see a lot of content about, what the experiences of people in the
Oh, yeah.
home buying process with disabilities is like, right? Both as agents and as buyers, sellers. We've got staff here that have been through the home buying process, that have been through the process of working in the real estate industry with with a disability. And we're going to be able to talk really frankly and honestly about how our abled colleagues can really be more inclusive of us so that we can come to the table as our full self and not have to worry. Right?
Yes, definitely. I love that.
Love it. So we got a question here. I think both of us can answer this one a little bit, but how do we feel that eXp Capable enhances our diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts at eXp Realty?
I think one of the biggest things is we're creating a safe space to, again, hold each other accountable, to share these ideas, to educate each other, but also a place where we can hold our brokerage accountable to improving and providing the resources we need, and obviously not everything is just going to bloom in, days. It's going to take time, and it's going to take all the right people stepping up and taking action. But I think this group really will be a marker for eXp of what we need and how we can be better as a brokerage and just as people. And for me, I think that's kind of what the group does to enhance.
Yeah, I love that. And, I think there's also the piece there when we're talking about diversity, equity, and inclusion. I think the equity piece is huge for the differently abled community, right? That equity piece of whatever we need to give someone so that their seat at the table is at the same level as everyone else's.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we have tools at our disposal we can use to make sure that they're able to come and be heard just the same as the person next to them. We can help you with that, right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, and I think too, like you had said with shareholders, the ASL group, the hard of hearing group, they were so vocal about their concerns. They were really adamant about what they know they needed, and they weren't willing to just stop. They were inviting, all of these people that are higher up in eXp to the group so that they would see these conversations and these thoughts. And it was just so I felt like I was part of something really big because they were asking for what they needed, and they weren't ashamed. They weren't embarrassed. They were just ready. I think this group is going to be a lot of that, a lot of people who are just ready to see improvement and ready to help each other get access to that. And like you said, helping our able-bodied and our able-minded colleagues to help advocate for us and understand why we need these things or what makes these things so important. This group is just truly going to be, it's going to be a really great opportunity for people. And again, if you haven't already joined the group, just join. It's going to be so much fun and just so impactful.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. And I would be remiss not to mention another segment that was brought up a lot to me at shareholders this year about a resource group. And that was parents of autistic children at eXp. That's a big, big community. And for all of those people, I want to tell you, this group is for you, right? Yeah. This group is for you. This isn't just about all those other things we've talked about. That piece that we're mentioning about the space to come and be together and talk to each other and vent together and learn from each other and share your experiences so others understand what your life is like, having a child who's on the autistic spectrum, right? Yeah. I think that's a really important piece of that. And to those parents who have been asking, can we have some sort of group that represents us? This is it. we're here, and I'm here to help you represent your needs and wants out of eXp as best I can. So please come to the table.
Yeah, absolutely. And, families, allies, if you have a sibling or a child or a parent, if you just feel personally inclined to advocate, like, we want everybody to be welcome in the group and to know that they have something to say and we want to hear about it.
That's it. That's beautiful. So our last question I want to ask is, how can this new resource group support and empower our agents and staff with disabilities at eXp Realty? I think we've covered this quite a bit already, but what do you think is some of the key ways that we can support our agents and staff with disabilities and their allies in their growth journeys?
I think first and foremost, just being a listening ear and, a shoulder to cry on, a place that you can vent your frustrations and irritations or your concerns and your thoughts. I think, because again, implementing a lot of new resources, improving what we already have, that's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort. But being a space that people can come and say, like, this is a problem I'm having, and have hopefully numerous other people who have experienced it or have seen their colleagues go through it, and they can chime in and say, well, let's do it this way, or let's work together on that, or how can I, step in and advocate for you. I think being a space to communicate and collaborate, which is already so important to eXp as a whole, but to create this space for people who maybe didn't already feel represented, to remind them that we care so much about you and we're here and we want to represent you and your needs. How can we do that? And giving them the floor, allowing them to speak and to share with us, because there are so many stories that we just haven't heard yet. And I'm so excited to see what we can do with those stories.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I couldn't have said it any better. And on that note, I just want to thank you very much for being here with me today. I hope everybody goes out and joins. Just go to Workplace and search eXp Capable.
Yes.
Join, and not just join, but talk, post, say hello, say here's what my experience is. Just join the conversation. We'd love to have you. We're brand spanking new. And this is all thanks to, I want to give another shout out. This is part of the DEI Champions program.
Yes.
So the DEI Champions program is a program where we have designed a path for new groups about topics that aren't already covered by one eXp resource groups to start from the ground like we're doing right now and build themselves up in a way that then we can present to one eXp and say, hey, we think we're worthy of a seat at the table at one eXp, and here's the proof. Here's the events we've done. Here's the membership we've gained. And then we become a one eXp resource group. We've already successfully done that twice in the past 2 years with eXp Climate Action Network and the eXp Healthy Mind Collective. And this is the next big one, right? So come on in, join us. If you want to lead, if you want to join the conversation, we're here for any of that. Thank you again for joining us. And thank you, everybody, for watching.
Thanks, Cody.